Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 65.8 kilograms. He holds a record of 3 wins and 0 defeats. Representing Absolute MMA, give it up for Alastair Volders. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 65.7 kilograms, holding a record of 0 wins and 1 defeat. He trains out of Team Compton, Brisbane. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Ethan Mitchell. When our action begins, our referee in charge, Peter Hickmott.
No man more qualified to handle this one. Peter the Bull Hickmott, the man in the middle. Volders in the blue, right, Mitchell in the red, round 1.
How fast did Ethan Mitchell come out and seek the middle of the cage here tonight?
I've been looking forward to this one, boys. Ever since we made this fight, I've been super excited. This is top of the food chain stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I like this from Mitchell. Volders is a real pressure fighter with heavy, heavy hands. And he does most of his work in positions just like this, where he forces his man back to the fence. Look at that shifting footwork from Mitchell. On 2 occasions now, those left his head straight up and down, and Volders trying to find it early.
Well, you said it, Ben. This is a fight that has almost slid under the radar. Most of our attention focused on our co-main and main event here tonight and even tomorrow night. But this one, real fight fans know this is a barn burner.
I have some slight concerns about where Ethan puts his head a lot. His head's going down towards the waist of Alastair a lot. I think if he picks up on that and starts throwing some knees, while he covers his face tightly, he might have some success in that position.
Make sure you stay tuned. Our co-main event coming up next between the God of War, Odin Musket, and Joe Lachinese. Both guys possessing the KO power to knock out a rhinoceros. They'll try and put that power on display against each other in our co-main coming up.
And you made the point about Andy Colgrave being in the corner of Volders, and that little read that you made of him dipping off to the side. Well, Andy Colgrave, one of the best striking coaches we have in Australia, if not the best, and he'll certainly pick up on that. So what adaptations will Volders make over the course of this? We'll see. The right hand connects as he pushes Ethan Mitchell back to the fence, and a good takedown early from Volders. Here he comes, both hooks in.
This is where he wants to fight. Had a good chat to one of his good training partners, Ursin Morel from the Fight Buzz. Says that Alastair has worked on his grappling extensively, and he's going back to basics here, Matt. This is how he's earned most of his victories, not just as an amateur, but as a pro as well.
Well, and he's in the perfect gym to want to activate a ground game with the likes of Lockie Giles, Craig Jones, and all the other names you want to mention down at Absolute MMA in Melbourne. The grappling pedigree there is unquestionable.
Yeah, and he was the main training partner for Farjak Jenkins in his last fight over in UFC Perth. So getting a lot of rounds in at the top level. And here comes Mitchell back up to his feet. Looking to get back a little bit of lost ground.
And Mitchell's got ground credentials too. He's a purple belt. You know, he's an experienced grappler. You don't get a purple belt given to you, especially not in Compton's gym. So he's not going to worry overly about being taken down. He's still going to let his beautiful striking show, and he'll deal with the ground problems as they're presented to him. But we're into an intriguing battle so far.
Yeah, no doubt he's had the likes of the street border Don Marfan all over him through this camp. One of the best grapplers we have here in MMA in Australia. Volders presses forward once more. We're going to tie up Mitchell. He needs to be careful. Mitchell's showing again in that fight with Taser Malone. He's super creative with his kicking game. Cites one of his idols as Andy Hug, who, for martial art fans, will remember one of the most creative heavyweight kickers of all time in the kickboxing ranks.
That overhand right, finding a home, and just as I say that, Volders lands one of his own up against the fence and trying to stomp that thigh. That's a nasty kick, Matt.
Yeah, it's nasty, all right. Looking to sever the ACL of Volders, who returns volley, kicking inside and outside downstairs. Volders starting to set some things up now. He's looking really calm. And Ethan Mitchell, hard to read, quite erratic. Dipping low, coming upstairs with big punches, using a lot of energy, spinning and flinging, isn't he? And 1 minute to go, mate. The guys haven't taken their foot off the gas. Here comes Ethan Mitchell.
There goes Volders.
I think the knee really hit and took his distraction away from the hands, and then he landed that big shot to the head. But he's having that really unorthodox strike to the knee, John Jones style, but a little bit different, has really thrown Alastair off there.
Well, he's got time to work. Still 45 seconds left in the first round, but it is all Ethan Mitchell trying to put an early stop to this contest.
I'm worried about how much gas he's used.
Yes.
MCT, he's just had his foot pedaled to the metal the whole way through the first round.
And his style is high output and big movement, so that does get tiring down the stretch. And I think we saw a bit of that in the Taser Malone fight, in that attritional fight. You know, you start to tire down the stretch with his kind of style.
This is where it comes into play now. If he's tired, he's going to have a hard time defending the grappling from Volders. Clapper goes for 10 seconds.
Very hard fight to score. There's some big moments in the wrestling from Volders and a great finish too, but he was really hurt.
MMA on Threads, and have your say here tonight. Hoping to see your name pop up on the big screen later on during our co-main and main event. Round 2.
I think we can expect to see more of that thigh stomp from Ethan Mitchell. You bet the Team Compton's corner. There it comes, right on cue. They picked up, that's doing some damage and causing Volders some concern. It's stopping his forward motion. And from Volders, he probably like what he's found in the grapple so far. And did his corner, have his corner picked up on Ethan Mitchell as he dips forward head first into the pocket, we will see.
And Ethan has shown he has the power to put Alastair out of this fight. And we know that the same can be said on the other side too. So I think everyone's going to need to really keep their defense as a priority and work behind the defense, work behind the defensive framework, start the jabs working, and just have a low-risk strategy in terms of taking punishment.
There's Ethan Mitchell. He's like a NBL first innings pitcher for the LA Dodgers with those big looping overhands, putting everything and the kitchen sink into these strikes. And that will certainly take a toll over the course of 15 minutes.
Yeah, and one of the, you know, he's throwing a lot of strikes and he's landing a lot of strikes, but he's also missing with some big shots. And missing big is tiring because your muscles then have to work to stop the shot or figure out the next move from there.
Well, he's opened himself up there, but he lands again.
Volders had a good moment there. Yes. I reckon he really stung him. Looked like he was hurt. Didn't get to see him on his feet because it wasn't long until Alastair Volders returned this one to the mat where he had some success in the first.
And the back's exposed here again.
Yeah, and this time 3 minutes and 15 to work, looking to pick that leg up with an Ira wide. Now look to come on top and pursue the neck once more of Ethan Mitchell, who's used a ton of gas.
And if I was Ethan, I'd be looking to shuffle towards the cage here and just guard one side of my body.
Being creative with the elbows. Just constant damage and output from Ethan Mitchell, no matter where he is, front, back, inside out in the ladies' chamber. He's looking to take Volders out of here.
And we might get a chance to see some of the new rule set that's been introduced of the 12-6 elbow in these positions. That's a great weapon that is now available to the fighters as of November.
Look for the Kimura there, did Volders, but it was probably a mistake because he gave up position where he was having a pretty good look and eating up a minute and a half of the clock. Oh, Ethan Mitchell almost took out the ring lights and the chandelier here at the Southport Sharks. Just wants that knockout finish. Left hand connects, but taking some big breaths now, T.
Just over 2 minutes left in the second round. And Volders again. He's 2 from 4 in takedowns this evening, but he's having a hard time of keeping the man from Team Compton down, and again a reflection of the work he's done within the walls of those gyms.
Yeah, but you know, every time you pick yourself up off the mat and you carry your opponent's weight, it's a big exchange of energy. And every time you do that, you get a little bit more tired, and just with the output that he's been putting in, I think we're going to start to see that start to pay dividends for Volders soon. He's got the three-quarter Nelson now really cranking down on the neck of Ethan Mitchell, and I like the way he's locked up the legs here. This is dangerous for Mitchell. This is dangerous for Mitchell. What can Volders get creative with here as he wears some big, dirty old elbows to the thigh, trying to make short work of the thigh. Good timing from from Mitchell. Volders probably hung out there a little bit too long, Ben.
Yeah, and we've got some damage above the left eye of Alastair Volders now, a little cut there, so some blood in the scenario, which is going to make these grappling exchanges even harder as the boys are super sweaty and bloody as they move further on into this fight. So, and they're both elusive on the floor. They're very hard to hold down. They never stay still, which is the key in grappling. And there was a great MMA movie that the name eludes me of once again, because I'm actually struggling mentally this evening, but where he says, if you don't move, you die. But it's never been more appropriate. Like, literally in grappling, if you stay still, you are going to get finished. So both of these boys, good advocates of keeping on moving and not letting anyone get consolidated position.
Prefer it if you didn't look me directly in the eyes when you said that, Ben. I'm a little bit unnerved here. Volders landing some good ground and pound to see out the second.
Well, we will see a third, and for these guys here, it may come down to who wants it more. They'll scramble.
It's like the Matrix in there.
Yes, and Pete Hickmont says that'll do it for the second.
And a bit more success in the second.
Third and
Who'd be a
final
judge?
round. For those watching at home, if you know the name of the movie that Tom Hardy starred in, it's a mixed martial arts movie. Get on over at Threads. Tag us at Eternal MMA. And I'm hoping that we'll see your name up on the big screen. It'll certainly help us.
If anyone tags the movie on Threads, I'll give them 2 tickets to the next show in their home state.
Bet and deal, says Ben Vickers.
Volders just trying to find his rhythm, measuring with the inside low kick. Just tapping away, not over-committing. Big kick to the back from Alastair Volders. In Muay Thai, that score's really high, and the reason it does is it can really wind you. There's not a lot protecting you other than your lats, and there's some good timing from Volders. Just sneaks under the armpit to take the back with the body lock. What can he do here with plenty of time to work, Ben?
And that was just a point of when you throw big and you get tired and it comes that little bit slower, Alastair was just able to duck under the punch quite easily and get onto the hips.
And doing well to establish that body triangle. Mitchell marches him halfway across Australia to the Team Compton's outfit, right in front of Steve Compton and Elliot Compton now. And he's up against it here. Volders in a great position to drag this one to the mat, but here comes Mitchell trying to come up on top. Volders looks to attack, but Mitchell does a good job under the tutelage of the Compton's team to escape and see this one back to the feet.
Center cage for Volders, trying to press the action now, and you made mention of it earlier, Ben, that gas tank starting to wane on Ethan Mitchell, but he continues to throw.
Yeah, I've seen a change in what Volders is doing here. He's waiting for Mitchell to miss with that big overhand right, and then he's just either shooting in or he's trying to tag him with a left hook. Real obvious change coming into the third, and a good read from the Absolute team. Here's Volders on top with some big hammer fists, looking to drive a nail and secure victory here in the third.
And far be it from me to sort of critique anyone, especially guys of this caliber, but for me, Ethan, as a young professional, could go back to the gym and just work a little bit more on being more economical with his movement, because he's got all the skills, all the movement, his balance is exceptional, but he's making a lot of big moves, and I feel like as the fights get deeper, it's harder to maintain that style, and the cardio just starts to play a big factor in the fight, and I think that's been the story of this fight thus far.
I couldn't agree with you more, and this is often where he's ended up at least some point over these 3 rounds as he overextends. Alastair Volders taking fully advantage of those mistakes as he advances his position. He's got 1 hook in, looking for the second. He loses that one.
Doing a good job of not overcommitting here as Volders, not trying to rush the back. He's landing some big old punches, trying to butter up Mitchell, try and find a home to sneak that hand under the neck, but not rushing. I'm liking this from Volders in the third. And picks his moment beautifully there. He's flowing on top. Mitchell with some work to do now, you'd feel. 1 minute and 40 seconds to go in the third round.
Just a reminder, if you want to win those 2 tickets, you must tag us on Threads at Eternal MMA.
And some more trivia. I do now know what the name of the movie is, but I won't release it. But
beautiful.
What I do know is that Tom Hardy's stump double, I'll stop. We're on a straight footlock here. Alastair doing all the right things.
We'll come back to that. Ben Vickers, is this the movie we are thinking of?
Yes, it is the movie we are thinking
Warrior.
of.
All right, congratulations to Jerome, whoever you may be. We'll try and get in touch with you.
I'll tell you what, Volders was in a little bit of danger there, and using the leg entanglement well was Mitchell to see this one back up to the feet with 1 minute to go. I think he might need something now, potentially behind in this fight. Volders back in on the leg, looking to burrow in for yet another takedown. Good hammer fist from Ethan Mitchell on top. Here comes Volders around the bend. Single leg, he'll look to transition, lift it high. Instead, opts for an elbow, big deep breath. Boys settle down into the last stanza of this one. Volders swinging for the fences, trying to take Ethan Mitchell's trying to take Volders' head off. Chris right hand for Volders, and again. And Mitchell starting to look pretty tired and laboured with those strikes. All the anti-wrestling, all those big overhand rights taking their toll, and it's Volders who will see this one out on top, folks.
10 seconds left of our third and final round. Peter Hickmott acknowledges, and these guys will leave it in the hands of the judges to decide who will take the win here at Eternal 90.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to our judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge number 1 scores the contest 29-28 for the blue corner. Judge number 2 scores the contest 29-28 for the red corner. And judge number 3 scores the fight 29-28 for your winner by split decision in the blue corner, Alastair